what's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome to our little corner of the internet with my hair today looking like a mess because a bird pooped on my head and I had to shower, and then I didn't have time to probably dry my hair, so this is the outcome. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, today we're going to be watching a video titled Top 10 Most Dangerous Neighborhoods in America, which I probably share with you guys that I don't live in the best neighborhood ever, but it's not also like the most dangerous. But Europe has some questionable neighborhoods as well. And with a country as big as America, I mean, it's just unavoidable that there's going to be dangerous neighborhoods. But I'm curious to see how it compares to what I've seen here. So yeah, without further ado, let's see what this video is about.
During the span of your life, there has most likely been a time where you have encountered...
Excuse me, I'm a professional YouTuber.
During the span of your life, there has most likely been a time where you have encountered bad neighborhoods for whatever reason. You have probably tried to get out and sighed a sigh of relief as you manage to find your way out of those streets, especially if it's nighttime. And well, that's what this video is about. The top 10 most dangerous neighborhoods in all of America. And believe me, there are some horrific things I have heard and even seen myself, as don't forget, I live in Chicago. At the end of the video, I'll even tell you personally what was one of the worst things I ever encountered, so stay tuned. As always, sit back, relax, and I present to you number 10. Camden, New Jersey. Oh boy, where do I even start? Camden, New Jersey is just borderline scary. Especially the neighborhood of Whitman Park. I mean, if the stats aren't enough to make you avoid this so-called neighborhood, I say so-called because it's a wasteland, at least for me, then just seeing pictures of this place will hopefully be enough. Camden, New Jersey's crime rate...
This does look like the typical neighborhood you see in movies. This is the type of neighborhood I've never seen in Europe though, where houses are like this, next to each other. It's kind of like, well, obviously you have houses that are next to each other, but these are like different types of houses, you know? I don't know how to explain it, but anyways.
Pictures of this place will hopefully be enough. Camden, New Jersey's crime rate is 7.65 times higher than New Jersey's violent crime rate, and compared to the national average, Camden is a whopping 88.63% higher. Underperforming schools are also 74% under the national average. Poverty is also looking horrible at 154% higher than the national average. And just to put this to you in perspective, Camden has a population of 73,236. So that means out of those 73,236, an astonishing 26,936 people either don't have a roof over their head or are struggling to survive. With these statistics, I can definitely see why Camden also ranked as the poorest city in New Jersey. Number 9, Detroit, Michigan. Surprise, surprise.
I mean, it does make sense that the crime rates go up when the situation is what it is, but
Detroit is at number 9, but let's be honest with each other, we were both expecting this one. Now, the thing that makes this neighborhood really bad is something very interesting, but we'll get into that in a bit. The specific neighborhood you need to watch out for is Broad Street Avenue and Cortlandt Street. Crime rates here are around some 4.49 times more than the state's average. There's only one school in this neighborhood, which is called Kyden Special Education Center School, which surprisingly ranks a total 6 out of 10 according to neighborhoodscout.com, with 10 being the best and 1 being the worst. And last but not least, poverty. Poverty is pretty bad in this neighborhood, with a total of 64% of children within this neighborhood living in poverty. Most income earned by residents is low income. In fact, it has even been said that this neighborhood is amongst one of the poorest in all of America. Now, onto that thing I said earlier, which was quite interesting about this neighborhood, and that is 56.3% of houses are abandoned. Why, you may ask? Well, because people don't want to live here, period.
Wow.
Number 8, Memphis, Tennessee.
68.3% of the houses are abandoned? That's a huge percentage though.
If you are shocked to see Memphis on this list, relax, you're not alone. I understand some cities are worse than others, but to have a well-known city like Memphis on number 8, something is definitely up. As we all know, Memphis isn't really a bad and run-down looking city, but what I bet you didn't know is that Memphis's violent crime rate is 5.01 times higher than America's national average. Poverty rate is 83% higher than the national average, and the specific neighborhood you need to watch out for is Chelsea Avenue and North Claybrook Street. Street. Why? Well, because about 26% of homes are abandoned. Incomes here are lower than 99.7% of neighborhoods in America, and a whopping 78.9% of children here live in poverty. Number 7, Rochester, New York. Your not-to-go places in Rochester are Orange Street and West Broad Street. This is due to the fact that in this neighborhood, murder rates, robberies, and assaults have steadily been on the rise. And there's actually a
Isn't Alaska one of the places with a very high murder rate as well? Or am I wrong?
reason for this. That being that 30% or more of homes here are abandoned, and those that aren't abandoned, about 29% of households are run by single mothers. Here, not a lot of people even have a mode of transportation, except public transport. And well, as the cherry on top, this neighborhood is amongst one of the poorest earned incomes. In fact, compared to the rest of America, Orange Street and West Broad Street earn lower than 95.7% of other neighborhoods. Number 6, Little Rock, Arkansas. Now, the thing about Little Rock, Arkansas...
This looks very beautiful though. It looks peaceful. I mean, I'm guessing this is not from the exact neighborhood, but...
Number 6, Little Rock, Arkansas. Now, the thing about Little Rock, Arkansas is that there isn't really a specific neighborhood, as they are all pretty bad, but a very good one to mention is South End. South End's violent crime rate is 778% higher than America's national average. Poverty comes at around 18% higher than the national average, and there is also known to be a lot of home break-ins having a poverty crime rate of 190% above the national average. In fact, a local resident even said this about the whole situation. I've lived here for 5 years and it's not too safe. You have to be careful and get an alarm system. People are quick to break into your home in this area. But the crime doesn't come in as a surprise that much when you realize that really Little Rock has always been a dangerous place to live in. Number 5, Rockford, Illinois. Having Rockford on this list was a place I for sure wasn't betting to see. But after you hear what this neighborhood's statistics are, you will know why it rightfully belongs on number 5. Starting off with the...
I mean, when it comes like to the statistics and all of that, I don't know. I mean, this is like not really. They don't like. How do I explain it? They seem obviously, yeah, okay, they're more dangerous. The poverty rate is higher, but it's logically more dangerous, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like any of these have been like, oh, like there's something actually like something huge going on. It's just that some parts of the city have more crime rate, which is, I think, nearly everywhere. I mean, I can name places in my city where you should not go at all. Where in fact the police doesn't even go there because it's a no-no. So, but that doesn't mean that the whole city is like, you know, dangerous. I mean, it depends. But, you know, like, I don't know, this doesn't really surprise me, if that's what I'm trying to say.
Crime, approximately 90 people out of 1,000 are likely to be involved in some sort of violent crime. Poverty here is bad. Bad as in income levels here are about 99.4% lower than neighborhoods in the US. Another thing that surprised
Looks a little bit like Finland.
me is that the cost of living here is extremely affordable. $534 is the average rent for a small studio. But if these statistics weren't enough, and considering this neighborhood is on a top 10 most dangerous neighborhoods in America list on YouTube, then fine, I'll throw you some more information. It has a 10.9% vacancy rate, and divorce rate here is literally higher than 99.9% of any other neighborhoods in America. Number
Why?
4, Baltimore, Maryland.
That's interesting though. Why? Like, why? Why are the divorce rates higher where there's more crime or more poverty? More fights? More stress? I don't know. I find that interesting.
The worst neighborhood in Baltimore, Maryland is Hopkins Middle East. In fact, if you go on Google Maps and try virtually walking around the place, you will most likely see buildings with wooden barricades and a lot of signs mentioning no trespassing. Crime in Hopkins Middle East is 340% above the national average, and violent crime rate is a whopping 848% above the national average. Now, surprisingly, the poverty level here is only 5% above the national average. Unemployment rate is is 85% higher than the national average, and those who do have jobs, around 45% to be exact, work blue-collar jobs. Number 3, St. Louis, Missouri. When one usually thinks of St. Louis, Missouri, they usually think of nice things like the Gateway Arch, baseball, fine beers, the city, etc. But what I bet you don't think about is...
Isn't this on the road trip of the Road 66? Is it 66? The road trip thing? Isn't this a part of it? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not.
Peabody-Darst Webb, aka the worst neighborhood in all of St. Louis. To get you started off introducing this place to you, the crime here is at some 420% above the national average. No, this isn't supposed to be the shocking fact, but this is. The violent crime rate is at 1,129% higher than the national average. Unemployment, as usual, is in the 90 to 200% range, being at 129% higher than the national average. Number 2, Kansas City, Missouri. Knock knock. Who's there? That's right, Missouri again. Marlboro Heights and Marlboro Pride takes the number 2 spot on this list and is the worst neighborhood in Kansas City. Crime rate here is at 498% above the national average, and the violent crime rate here is at an astonishing 1,330% above the national average, beating every single neighborhood so far on this list. Poverty is not looking the best at 25% higher than the national average. And interesting enough, the education level here is horrible. We're talking test scores 50% below the national average and unemployment being at 27% below the national average. Something I thought I should note is that not—
This is also, why are the schools worse though? Like what does that have to do? Do they get paid less, or because kids are not as interested? Like why? I don't know, it must have some logical explanation as well, but
too far
I don't know, I find it interesting.
From here, about 17 minutes away via car, are some of the best neighborhoods of all of Kansas, like Leawood, River Market, and Overland Park. So kind of makes you wonder, why is this specific area so bad? And finally, the long-awaited number 1. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Michigan just had to show up again. Von Steuben is the most dangerous neighborhood in all of Detroit, Michigan. Located northeast of downtown Detroit, about a third of homes here are abandoned, and as more and more people flee out of Detroit over the years, people decide to just abandon their houses. And as a result, the property values dropped. Seriously, look. So the city came up with a solution.
What?
Property values dropped. Seriously, look.
What? You can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house for $99,000? $99,000? 4 bedrooms, bathroom for $70,000? What? Now that could be an investment. Not for me. I still gotta wait. I'm kidding. But for someone, that's a good price for a house, guys.
So the city came up with a solution. That solution being to demolish the abandoned homes. As I didn't know this, but they were setting fire to the homes. Now onto statistics. Crime rate here is at 463% above the national average. Violent crime rate is at a ridiculous 1,349% above the national average. And unemployment rate is at 236% higher than the national average. Have you noticed something throughout the video? That's that Chicago wasn't on the list. In fact, not even in the top 20s or 30s. Chicago is actually ranked number 85 out of all cities and suburbs as the worst place to live. But that still doesn't mean that there aren't some bad areas, and like I said in the beginning of the video, I will tell you one of my experiences. Okay, so one of the most unexpected things that I have seen is I was walking past a school and all of a sudden a swarm of high schoolers started flocking in the middle of the street. Now keep in mind they were at least some 150 kids, just there blocking incoming traffic, cars beeping at them and everything. So I kept on walking, and after a few minutes, police were coming out of every street, and I kid you not, they all started running. I even saw a guy fall trying to evade a cop car and go through an alley to get away. It was crazy, man. They were pulling up in all types of vehicles. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you've ever experienced something like this. See you next time. During the
Well, I have not actually experienced nothing like that, but Sounds like a protest or some sort. But either way, guys, thank you for joining me for this video. Let me know if you've had some crazy experiences in the comments below. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!